Good evening, cult members and patrons, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. If you don't know, I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is for patrons only. So if you're watching this any other way, you're doing it illegally. Go sign up for the Patreon for $1 a month, and you can watch it on the page.
Right. So we're a little late, almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
We've had some stuff.
We just to do the cliff notes. Try to buy a house, sold our house, walked away from a house, still sold our house, found an apartment. Now we're moving. Oh, by the way, for those of you who understand, we have a coronation in there somewhere. And so we're like, our time has been very short on things. And so we apologize. We're going to try to do our best to kind of get back in the groove of the Patreon stuff.
Yes.
We did do Sabrina part 2. We did add that for patrons as a freebie.
Yep.
So this month's poll, we did Westerns, and the one that won was the 1960 Magnificent Seven.
Yes.
Directed by John Sturges.
Sturges. Yep.
And I'm going to preface everything I'm going to say with the idea that I've just never been a Westerns guy. I like some of the modern Westerns, but I never got into like John Wayne and Leone and the spaghetti Westerns and Clint Eastwood. I just never did. My dad loved them. I just never got into it. I didn't watch Bonanza and Gunsmoke and stuff like that.
I like some of them. Not all of them, but there's some Arsenic and Old Lace. I like that one. And
yeah.
Some of the John Wayne ones. Blazing Saddles is a Western.
Blazing Saddles is a Western, but let's be honest, it's social commentary. So when we put this poll up, I didn't have a horse in the fight, and
right.
and when Magnificent Seven won, I was super excited because I really like the modern one that Fuqua did with everybody, Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington and all of them, and so I was super excited that this one won because I'd never seen it. And I have to say, at least for me right now, this is probably my favorite of all these going back and filling in the gaps movies that we've done.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you get why it was such an acclaimed movie, I guess, considering Yul Brynner wasn't exactly a Western name like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood and stuff. So kind of random.
I think he had just come off or was going to King and I.
Yeah, and we
around the same time. I'll look it up while we're talking.
King and I was 58, 59-ish. And then Steve McQueen, I don't know that he's really known for Westerns, right? I always think of him as like car movies.
Yeah. He did some stuff. 56 for King and I.
56, okay.
And so they were filming this in 59, 58, 59. So that would make a little bit of sense. His hair, he was, fully shaven, and so I just thought it would be a connection to the
and
to
he
King
was
and I.
for King and I.
But I just, as we went along more and more, I actually leaned over to Janice at one point in time, and as I said, "Is this a comedy?" Like I was laughing out loud at a lot of different things.
Yeah, there were definitely.
And
some
it was
funny
very
parts.
It was very like non-stereotype Western, which I think is why I liked it so much.
Yeah, so the Hispanic people, we looked it up, and the movie was actually filmed in southern Mexico.
Yeah, Durango, right? and stuff like that. Yeah,
and a lot of the locals, and we live in Arizona, so we can tell like people who are indigenous to the country of Mexico versus somebody who's just got a tan.
Or had a lot of Portuguese in them.
Or Native American, and they're trying to pass them off as Hispanic. So, you could definitely tell a lot of the extras were...
Some really cool, because they shot everything on set, the scenery doesn't look fake. like some westerns in this time period were kind of just thrown together because they can make a quick buck, which I'm never going to complain to anybody trying to make a quick buck.
And well, there were a couple of scenes. There was one that sticks out particular where they ride up onto a hill. I think it's right before the
big shootout at
big
the end.
battle,
Yeah, where they
and
give them their guns back.
And you can totally tell that it's a painted backdrop that they just maybe that was something that was shot after the fact. They decided once they got into editing that they needed to add something there or whatever, which just makes the realism of the other stuff stand out so much more.
Yeah. I really appreciate it too that they spent the extra time to make like each character you had an emotional connection to. You really you really understood why Yul Brynner's character Larrabee, Chris Larrabee, you could understand why he took this job. You could understand why Tanner was along for the ride.
Yeah.
And then later on, you could really feel for them when they had a chance to leave, and they all have that meeting around the table, and they talk about how they're trying to tell the kid, like, you don't want to be in this life. You don't want to. You're free, but you have this baggage on you all the time.
Yeah.
And you're just that emotional connection for what's supposed to be a shoot 'em up movie.
Yeah, it had a lot more heart than just I don't know. Yeah, shoot 'em up movie. We probably don't have a whole lot to compare it to since, like you said, we're not super into the old westerns. So the ones that I remember, they had a story. They had some heart to them too.
Right. One of the things, I was actually just looking it up to see how they did it on the awards. The music was like every time there was another song and I lean over, I'm like, this music is so good. It's transcendent now. Like everyone knows the music,
the score,
right? The score and everything.
It was Ernest Bernstein.
Yeah. And it's just that, like, in the time period, to have this epic score over this movie just added another layer to it, and
that's how they made movies back then, right?
That's true. I mean,
they spent a lot on costumes, and they went on locations, and they made these big scores and movies. People dressed up when they went to the movie theater, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What else do we want to talk about?
I thought it was interesting that the story was similar. There was enough that we could say, oh, this is that character in
from the
new one,
the modern one, yeah.
But not. It was definitely not a word for word, or even there were similarities, but not.
Yeah, they took the modern one and took the basic premise of this Magnificent Seven and the Seven Samurai, which is what this one is based off of, and that one's even based off of another Japanese movie, and but you could get all the beats and get,
but it wasn't we were like, oh, we've seen this movie, we know exactly what's going to happen. Everything was the kid falls in love. That doesn't really happen in the Fuqua one, but you could still pretty much pick out the characters, who they were.
Overall, I think this is going to be one, like, of all the movies that we've watched so far for our patrons. I'm glad we watched like Lawrence of Arabia, but I don't know if I ever need to sit down and watch it. Like, I'm not, jumping in there for another 3-hour epic. I want to watch it again. If it comes on, I want to watch it for like the panoramic shots and the cinematography and stuff like that. But the story itself was kind of slow for me.
I think it was more of a social topic
of the time, right? And then like stuff like THX 1138. Like, I really wanted to see that. I'm really glad I've seen it. I check. I don't need it. But this
And
one
done.
is one that I will want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I would totally watch it again.
And I really like the modern one. We own it. We've watched it a bunch
Yeah.
of times. I actually thought about rewatching it last night, but we had Game of Thrones, which. Okay, I'm going to go on a diatribe about Game of Thrones in a minute. But I really loved this movie, and I would totally sit back down and watch it and really get into, tearing it apart like I would a modern movie. And that's
Yeah.
actually the first one I think I really feel like that's actually pulled me in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily, if you're a Amazon Prime member, you can watch it for free.
Watch it for free because Amazon Prime. So I guess that's our overall thoughts on it. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this?
No, I mean, I guess we don't need to score it. It's been around for a while. It won some awards. People liked it.
We give it a 5,000, whatever, out of 10. Yeah, I don't know if we need to score it, but
Yep.
I really liked this one. And now whatever happens next, unless it blows me out of the water, I'm going to be disappointed with.
So good job, patrons.
Good job, patrons. We will put up a poll at some point in time. We also owe Joel, who's one of our $5 pop stars, who gave us a movie. It is a Kurosawa movie that directly affected George Lucas. And I cannot remember. High Fidelity. It's not it. That's not High Fidelity.
No.
Who are you talking to?
It is subtitled, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So
so
We need
will,
to be
we
a
are
little
gonna,
more focused than
Yeah.
we currently are.
It's
Our
kind of
house
hard
is
right
torn
now.
apart.
It's boxes everywhere. I should turn the camera around so you can see our room. So we will do that, and we will try to be adding new stuff as we go along. As we maybe we'll do like we did with Sabrina. We'll just sit down and do a 10-minute review.
Yeah.
And just throw it up
Yeah.
for patrons early, and then move forward.
And we did want to let you all know that your hard-earned dollars have gone to work, and we have a new logo personalized for us and the show, and we're finalizing that currently. So we should have the new logo in the next couple of days.
Yep.
So
We're super
thank you.
excited, and then that way we can have cards made and shirts
Yep.
and stuff. And
I like it. It's
I,
cool.
I do like it. I like it. There's a couple little tiny little tweaks, but it's totally what we wanted. And then with our next round, we'll be doing it when we get to the appropriate level or whatever. We're gonna do one for the Rebel Files for Josh and I.
Yep.
And then we will work on that. We're trying, guys. We really appreciate your support and your efforts to share and continue on with this idea that we have that we're actually getting some traction behind. So we really appreciate our patrons most of all. But if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media. We're on Spotify. We're actually on Anchor FM podcast now, which puts us on Spotify, Google Play, Breaker, podcast feed, all that kind of stuff.
I think we're on pretty much everything except iTunes at this point.
Yeah. So please like all of that stuff if you haven't already, and please share with your friends. We are doing good, guys. Let's keep this momentum going. That's it. Magnificent Seven, another one off the list. Chick. Now we got to figure out what that next month is. We did sci-fi.
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, patrons, thank you very much. Good night now.